Do you want to make bacteria glow? Have you ever wondered, how does a plant sweat? And with all the computers and phones and everything, is that changing the evolution of our eyeballs, our sight, so that maybe over time we're going to only be able to see things near and not far? If you like any of those topics, then join me. AP Biology is for you. So what exactly is AP Biology? It is a college level class. This class is going to prepare you to be successful both in college by developing a really strong work ethic, as well as exposing you to all the content that you will see in a college class. Now we get a chance to start to investigate the why. How does it work? Rather than just simply memorization of topics. It's a 2-credit class, so you'll get 2 credits, a fall credit and a spring credit. It's all year long. We work extremely hard to not just prepare for the test, not just to pass the test, but to deepen your level of biology, your understanding. In AP Biology, we're taking a look at a year-long commitment. We're preparing for the AP exam, which can get you college credit. It, just by statistics alone, has shown that if you take the exam, even if you don't score a 3, 4, or 5, you are 30% more likely to be effective and to be successful in college. So the statistics are on your side. This class helps you to prepare for the future, gives you an amazing overview of biology where we go in depth and find out how all the processes work. And overall, we just have a lot of fun. We expand on what you know from your 10th grade biology, and we go leaps and bounds beyond that to, again, understand how biology is your life and how it affects your life. Oh, hey. So I've heard that AP Biology is just for people who want to be doctors, right? Well, actually, that is not true at all. AP Biology can serve a lot of functions. Yeah, it will prepare you for med school. It will prepare you to go in to get your undergrad degree in biology or even in the other sciences, gives you a great foundation. It'll prepare you for careers in research, careers in teaching. But some people don't always think, what if I want to pursue law school? I don't want to do anything in science. I just want to be I want to be a lawyer, and that's what I want to do. How many times do you see DNA evidence coming up in the courtroom? Pretty often, huh? So a solid foundation of biology, a solid foundation of how life works and how cells are made and how they're dividing and how we look at DNA, that foundation can take you a lot further in areas that maybe not are just research or med school. And now all of a sudden, again, not something that you have to memorize every fact of biology, but having that background, having that foundation, get your foot in the door for a lot of different jobs where they'll train you, but they want to know that you have the concepts, the understanding, that foundation, and AP Biology gives that to you. So what kind of labs do we do in AP Biology? Obviously, we're going to learn a lot of information, but AP Biology is really focused around student-centered learning, where you develop your hypotheses, your observations, you take all of that, you design the lab, and then you start to analyze the results. It's not cookbook labs anymore. Now you're at that next level where we start to look at the kind of labs that you want to create and find that data. We also do a lot with modeling work. In our biochemistry, you could take a look at a model that looks like this. This looks like a hot mess. However, this is what we call tertiary structure of a protein. Essentially, the hemoglobin in your blood, that's a tertiary structure. It's a functional protein. And in AP Biology, we'll not only talk about all the side chains and the chemistry that makes this work, but what happens if you get a fever of, say, 104, 106? That's life-threatening. And why is that? Because the heat starts to break down these proteins. And if a protein denatures or breaks down, it is no longer functional. So one of the units that we study is biochemistry. And you'll get a chance to use some really awesome, cool models to demonstrate all the different interactions that happen in our body. The cell membrane. You know this. You've seen this in biology, right? Hydrophilic heads, hydrophobic tails, shake it up like this, and all the heads always end up outside. You've seen this. But what does this have to do with real life? Understanding cell membranes allow us to understand how things happen. What happens if you were to get an IV at the hospital and they didn't use the isotonic saline that's slightly salty? What happens if they use distilled water? What would happen to you? You'd die. I mean, that's unfortunate. However, that's the importance of understanding cells and cell membranes. So in this part of AP biology, we take a look at why the cells stay so small. And you'll get to design a cell, you'll get to run through several experiments and find out why do they stay small. We then go in and start talking about osmosis and diffusion. And in osmosis diffusion, how do we look at the osmolarity? How do we look at how things move in and out of the membrane? And how does that keep you alive? And then the last thing we talk about in that cell unit is cell signaling. And in cell signaling, you probably recognize this or can understand it best when I talk about insulin. And when we talk about the idea that when you're hungry, your body's releasing glucagon to keep your blood sugar high. And when you eat, it's releasing insulin to bring it back down. But there's a lot of cell communication that has to happen in order to do that. So in the cell chapter, we look at everything from what the kind of cells are and what the parts do to how they keep you alive and how they make everything work. Oh, the good old chloroplast. Nature's way of making energy from the air. When we talk about photosynthesis, we talk about not just the chloroplast and all the amazing machinery inside of here, but things like pigments. And in pigments, which help photosynthesis occur, what do they do for the plant? And why are there so many colors? Where do the reds and the browns and the yellows and the oranges come from? We'll get a chance to learn about that as you look at chromatography. Corn. Not something you necessarily contemplate on the daily basis. Number of yellow versus black actually is a Mendelian ratio. It's kind of like a monohybrid cross, if you remember that from biology class. And the idea is that we cross two different kinds of corn, and that gives us a type of offspring. This would be the offspring. In our genetics unit, we're going to take a look at what allows all of your genes to pass down and what kind of offspring do you get. Not just your monohybrids, but looking at two traits, looking at traits that are on the X chromosome, maybe some traits that combine, codominance, where you see more than one. It's not just dominant or recessive. But we'll take a look at cell division and how that relates to genetics and why you look the way you do. One of my favorite units, and I know I said that about all of them, but one of my favorite units of AP biology is to looking at DNA. You may not be used to looking at something that looks like this. You're used to seeing those nicer diagrams that are just colors and spirals. But in this unit, we're not going to just learn about that cartoony version of DNA. We're going to learn about each part that makes it up, the twists and the turns, why there's a smaller gap here versus here, and how that actually relates to genes that are being passed down. In the DNA unit, and that also goes into the biotech unit, we are going to take a look at not just DNA and protein synthesis and making proteins, but then how do we use DNA in the real world? How do we solve forensic mysteries, crime scenes, paternity cases? We'll also be tying in the DNA into genetics and evolution by looking at traits that you possess and things that may or may not have traveled with you through evolutionary time. And we'll even map out a couple things in terms of other organisms using the technology that we use. So the DNA chapter, one of the most hands-on, if they're all hands-on, but one of the most hands-on is the DNA chapter. And that is because we get to use not just the concepts, but all the ideas and everything we learn to solve mysteries and to find out why everything happens in the world. The thumb. Just thought it was there, right? Didn't really know what the purpose of it was. In evolution, amongst a lot of other concepts that we're going to talk about, we talk about the thumb. Why is the thumb so important to you? I'm going to give you a challenge. Go ahead and try to tie your shoes without your thumbs. Go ahead and try to open the doorknob without your thumbs. Try to zip up your jacket without your thumbs. This opposable thumb is an example of a structure that we need. It's a chance to increase what we call fitness so that we're able to survive more and more over time. This opposable thumb is an extremely valuable adaptation that we need. And we'll talk in evolution about how things survive, how they change over time, how they breed in order to give us better offspring. And in evolution, we'll take a look at fish. Sounds like kind of a weird topic, right? But we're going to take a look at fish, and we're going to map different fish based upon their molecular profiles, their protein profiles. And you'll get a chance to do a lab that very few people, if any, get to do even in this county because of some of the equipment that we have. You'll be able to map their protein profiles by doing protein electrophoresis. And so in evolution, we'll take a look at how everything ties together, the biochemistry, the genetics, the DNA, and how that all allows for life to continue year after year. Don't just trust me. Listen to someone who took AP Biology last year. They'll let you know how important and how much fun we actually had.
Hi, my name's Gabby, and I'm currently a senior here. I took AP Bio last year as a junior, and I can say that I highly recommend the class. If you want to have a career in the health field or if you just love science, I really recommend that you take this class the upcoming semester. The class is very enjoyable and you learn a lot from the interactive lessons, the projects, the assignments, all the labs and notes that we do. Although the class can be challenging sometimes, as long as you stay ahead of your work, do your notes properly, do all the assignments, then I can ensure that the class will be a very enjoyable and enriching time for you. So if you're thinking about taking AP Bio with Mr. Trice, I highly recommend it. Bye.
So are you ready? Are you ready to take the challenge? Are you ready to push yourself further than you ever thought you could? Are you ready to learn more about biology than you ever thought? Things that you didn't get to learn in 10th grade, that we told you a little bit and now you get to explore it. Are you ready to challenge yourself and take AP Biology? I can't wait until I get to see you in class. I know you can do it. While it's a tough challenge in class, you have me, and I'm with you every step of the way to help you, to understand, to help hone those study skills, but also to make biology come alive, to really truly understand what's going on around us. So, if you're ready, sign up for AP Biology. What are you waiting for? You can do this. I can't wait to meet you.